We spent a lot of time talking about the left around here, but this week we're going to be diving into the right. My guest is conservative radio talk show host, lawyer, and writer Larry Elder. Larry has written several books on conservative principles with a focus on government and racial issues. Much of his work is very similar, actually, to the ideas we talk about here on the Rubin Report, including religion, the role of government, and personal responsibility. According to his biography, Larry uses facts and common sense to arrive at his conclusions. That sounds familiar, right? Now, if I use those same precepts as a liberal, can we both be right at the same time? Can we both be wrong? Is the answer somewhere in the middle? Well, that's exactly what we're going to try to find out. As I discussed with Don Lemon last week, the media talks so much about the left-right divide in this country that it's easy to forget that there are decent people on both sides of the debate. This is one of the reasons I've taken the left to task so much on this show. The further off the deep end they go, the less we'll be able to find compromise with people we disagree with. Just because I may have different views on abortion than Republicans doesn't mean that they hate all women. Just because I may have different views than Republicans on guns doesn't mean that they're a bunch of rednecks. And just because Republicans aren't for legalizing marijuana doesn't mean they aren't fun to hang out with. All right, well, that one might be true, but I think you see my point. Maybe the best way to start a conversation about political ideology is to actually define the terms. This is something I've done with a few guests so far because I often think we're all talking about different things while using the same words. Fear not, I have Google, and according to the Oxford Dictionary, here's the definition of conservatism. Conservatism is the holding of conservative principles, the tendency to resist great or sudden change, especially in politics, adherence to traditional values and ideas, sometimes opposed to liberalism. All right, so I think we have a nice jumping off point there. Basically, conservatives aren't big on change, and when they are, they want to go about it slowly. I think this concept has been conflated with the concept of right-wing politics, so I even Googled that. According to the concise Oxford Dictionary of Politics, in liberal democracies, the political right opposes socialism and social democracy. Right-wing parties include conservatives, Christian Democrats, classic liberals, nationalists, and the far right, racists and fascists. You can see how these two concepts have morphed into the Republican Party in America. We have an ideology that doesn't want to change the system too quickly, coupled with a political affiliation that is focused on economics and some level of moral authority. Interestingly, classical liberals are also included in that group, and the more and more I've been talking about this stuff, the more I've been considering myself in that category. I'm going to touch on that more in the next couple weeks. Now that we've laid out some basic terms, I think we have a solid jumping off point to discuss all the issues of the day. From abortion to economics to foreign policy to guns, can we find out where we agree instead of just yelling over each other? I think we can, but the only way is to be brave enough to talk to those we don't actually agree with. If we refuse to talk to those that we don't see eye to eye with, we'll just end up taking an eye for an eye.